life or something, not.
I must admit, I felt like it was.
I like that.
It's
I
boss,
liked
mate.
it, but you know when it starts, I felt like, whoa, I had a bit of like stage fright.
I like that, Sal.
Look,
No,
boss,
it's
mate.
It is.
I've
got the picture now ready. There you go. All right, boys.
Sometimes it is just a little thing.
From the heart of Bootle, films inside the Big Onion at Bootle Strand, the podcast about people, place and the stories shaping our community. Join your hosts, Chris, Lizzie and Tim, as they sit down with local voices and inspiring guests. This is Big Onion Radio.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Big Onion Radio. We're missing Lizzie and Danny, we're both unwell at the moment. March, things going around. My name is Tim, we're coming at you live from, well, I keep saying live because we're alive now doing this. I'm sure you're alive watching this, but we're coming at you from Bootle Strand. We're supported by the National Lottery Community Fund, and without National Lottery players, we wouldn't be here. We're bringing you people and place from all over Sefton, but Sefton and beyond really. We're covering loads of issues in Sefton and beyond. And I just want to be clear that I have learned the email now.
Have you done it, Tim? Have you got it now?
radio@thebigonion.co.uk. I know look down then, but I have actually learned the email. And thanks to the people who have emailed in, we really do appreciate it. We're going to speak to Liz Devey today from Sefton Early Years. Hiya, Liz.
Hiya.
Chris, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Good to be back on the blue chair again.
Yeah.
I think we're getting okay at this, aren't we, Tim?
Yeah, we're getting okay.
We're getting
I just
okay.
need to learn the email and learn not to look down at it all the time.
But all is good. Yes, all is good.
All's good. And it's March. People watching this might get this in April, but it is March. It is warming up. It is a good time to be taking on board new ideas and trying out new things. But we are going to be speaking to an expert in her field today, aren't we, Liz? How are you? Do you want to tell us your name and about Sefton Early Years?
So my name's Liz Devey, and thanks for asking me on. Real honour, thank you. So I work for Sefton Early Years and Sefton Early Hub.
Yeah.
So I started the role in November, and before that I was 30 years teacher.
Another ex-teacher.
Yeah, that's
Another ex-teacher.
It's like a graveyard for ex-teachers, Big Onion Radio, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got the job in the November, so I'm just learning on the job. It's a brand new role. No one else has done it before. It's newly funded. So
it's a new service then, Liz, is
it's
it?
not so much a new service,
Okay.
but a new role.
A new role,
yeah,
okay.
So it's all to do with this. You know, it's in the television at the minute about like Start for Life and children being ready to learn and ready for school.
Okay.
So it comes under that. Yeah.
Great stuff.
Now, I've seen Sefton Early Years around Sefton, so is this independent of the council? Is it charity
No,
based?
so it is Sefton Council, so,
Yeah.
and it's between two services, so it's Early Years and Early Hubs. So basically, when I went for the interview, they said, we just want to see you like the glue between services and families. You've got families sometimes who need the support or they don't know where to go. So it's about me joining it all up together. So I'm just on the road every day, all around Sefton, visit lots of different places and met amazing people.
And can I ask you, so is this supporting families just as they're preparing for the child to be born and then through to their first school days then, is it?
It's 0 to 5.
Okay,
Yeah,
0 to 5.
No,
So you see it at every stage then?
Every stage, and like, you know, the other week I was at a baby shower for pregnant women, and they were like coming to the hub for advice and things. So it's like,
Brilliant. Now, we know that those formative years, 0 to 5, are very, very important. We know the implications of kind of an unsettled youth for children, not starting things, the impact of COVID. We've seen all this because there was an impact on behaviour and learning in schools. It is such an important time to invest in, isn't it? And you're going to tell us about some of the services available, but later on we're going to talk about work-life balance, particularly with kids. But do you want to tell us a little bit more about the services that you do offer? And we'll share your details as well in the note, so if people want to check out those services, you know, that'll be important too. But do you want to tell us what you provide?
So recently I've been working with voluntary groups, so I've been going around all the amazing things that go on in church halls, you know, all the back of things you find like don't know exist. So I've been like visiting those, and I've been getting them some funding. So I rock up at the playgroup, talk to the leader, and then access funding for them. So 23 playgroups in Sefton have got £250 funding, and I walked into one in Crosby the other day, and the woman said, "I've not met you properly yet, but I just want to hug you because £250 to us is amazing." And then talking about linking services, so I tried to link up people. If I saw on their order form they're after new books, I'd try and like signpost them to Kingsley's.
Okay.
And then Kingsley's was like, yeah, tell them to come in and we'll do them a bespoke sort of package of like what they want, story sacks, and just trying to like make those connections really.
That's brilliant, because I know Kingsley and Co did an advert for us recently, and they're a big part of the Strand. And now at the front, they used to be downstairs next to the Big Onion down there. So we've got Kingsley and Co just outside, and we've got the Big Onion just inside. But I've been into Kingsley and Co recently with my lad. You can get books for £1.
Amazing.
It shows them that kind of literary culture. We know about the impact of reading and why it's important. I was talking to someone from Pritchard's bookshop in Crosby recently, and I think that when you have a culture and young people who read, it's not just about skill development, it's just about being aware of what's going on as well, isn't it, around the world. So I think it's really important.
Shout out to Claire Morgan and the team at
Liz,
White Kids and Kingsley and Co. They are fantastic. We were in there Thursday, Friday last week with the launch of the Bootle Town of Culture, and then we shot the podcast in here after that. But yeah, they do a great bit of work. And I think, but going back to Liz, what you said before about those unsung heroes really in our community, it never ceases to amaze me really the amount of goodwill there is in virtually on every street corner where people come together and provide some kind of service to young families. Perhaps tell us a little bit more about some of those organisations you bumped into.
Yeah, I mean, I felt a bit ashamed, to be honest, to think that I didn't know that they were going on, because when you're in teaching, you'll know this, Tim, you're just in that bubble and you're so busy. So for me, I've had my eyes open to this like amazing like community work that goes on. When I get there, I tend to sit with the families and just talk to the parents. And some of the parents have said it's been echoed around Sefton. If I hadn't come here, I don't know what would have happened to me, you know. It's like they might have been on the cusp of postnatal depression. It's isolating being at home, isn't it? And, you know, and I try and say to the people that are running these groups, you know, you are so much more than tea toast and putting some toys out. Give them a lift. And to be honest, they love me visiting because it gives them like, oh, someone's actually interested in us.
No, you know, again, and it's something we're very conscious of in the Big Onion and the stuff that we've done in our business startup club, which we're involved with. The number of social enterprises as well who are engaged. A bit of a shout out to two of them, Freedom to Flourish, Claire Marsh, brilliant organisation that works with children and young families. And also Julie Wallace, Mum's the Word as well. I don't know if you've come across those. Julie again does some incredible work with young mums, and so I'll put you in touch with them. And there are so many others as well that you know, I think one of the problems that we have in society now is you know, the number of people who feel isolated and just out of touch, outside of that bell curve of you know, services and opportunities and information, and yeah, it's amazing, isn't it, what we don't know about what goes on in our community, and it really worries me sometimes. So it's great that you guys are coming along and picking up some of those pieces.
Yeah, to be alive, isn't it? And there was a research that went ahead, and it said that 70% of parents 0 to 5 feel judged as a parent. 70%, that's massive, isn't it? And I just think these groups have the doors open, they don't judge, they just, you know, and that's the real vibe you get when you go to visit them. It's very open door policy, you know. Yeah,
very good.
I know Hope Street, which is in Ormskirk, just outside Sefton. I've been there, and they have, you know, good food that you can buy at a decent price there. Everyone's welcome to come in. And shout out to Sheila at Hope Street. But when I've been there on a Saturday, they have funding for like art groups upstairs with kids, and they have volunteers up there and all the stuff, and it is great. But you do feel alone, and it is hard. We've just been talking about the cost of doing things with kids sometimes, and when you get those freer options, like Freedom to Flourish that Claire Marsh does, I went along to one of their forest schools that they do, that they've got funding for, and she said, we just need to get this message out to people. And it is that message, because someone says, oh, it's my website. How do you get to that website if you don't know about it? How do you find out about things? We know local newspapers have disappeared because of funding issues. There's a lot of stuff on Facebook which you might find out, but there's also a lot of absolute nonsense on Facebook. Some terrible stuff can be very, very toxic, and we don't always hear this positive news of what's available. And as you say, people do feel ashamed that they need to go to things. But when my lad was born, his mum took him to toddlers groups and things like that were on in the local library. But people just don't know about these things, do they? And it's a real pity. I know all the Sefton libraries do free reading for kids throughout the year.
Amazing.
They are amazing,
The one in Crosby Library, they can get up to 40 families in there.
Yeah, right.
It's a volunteer that does it. She's so enthusiastic. The atmosphere in there and that love of reading, from day one. Yeah.
So what do we do then to try to raise the awareness of all these wonderful things? Just a really open-ended question. I'm not searching for an answer from you immediately, but there are some amazing things out there and people just don't know about them.
I think it's people connection, isn't it, as well? I know these QR codes are a big thing, aren't they? And then one of the mums was saying to me, it's all very well having those, but on my phone, someone had sent her a QR code. So she was like, but I can't access them on my phone. So she was trying to get help for something.
Sure.
So you need physically either paper copy, a number in your hand, or a human voice at the end of a phone, don't you? So,
well, certainly we'd like to have some more information about the service, because obviously, as you know, we've got a space here, a hub here, where hundreds and hundreds of people come through to the Big Onion every week, and we've got a space in Southport as well on Lord Street. So we really need to maybe raise awareness through those. Two sites, but equally there are lots and lots of other sites as well. If there is information, we can share that information through.
I think Liz is interested in doing something up at the Lord Street site as well. But again, I think there's two things here. One is, how do we get the information to people? But two is, people feeling okay to reach out. Even people who say, oh, I shouldn't need to be accessing it. It takes a village to raise a child. And I was talking to someone today, the other day, who's a single parent, who says, we go to these little groups, and the word that they used was, they are a godsend. They are an absolute godsend. And also having a visitor means that, I can get in the shower. I can go and get a shower. You know what I mean? Being freed up. And it's important that we have this community that comes together, that offers the services. And these people who give up the time and volunteer,
they're amazing.
I just think it's incredible. Another shout out to Paula Fletcher and others in the group who are involved in doing work with young people. And also we're going to have guests on who are helping people who are neurodivergent as well across the community coming forward.
Can I ask then, what happens when a baby is born and leaves the hospital to go home? Is that midwifery support still there, or or do you kind of get involved then at that stage, or how does that work?
It was just trying to make those connections. So I was talking to someone about baby massage class, and there were like two parents there. Now I remember my daughters are 23 and 21, but when I went like 23 years ago, you were hard pushed to get in the class.
Right.
There's two people turning up.
Right.
So why is this? So this health visitor was telling me, on her last visit, at a home visit with the baby, they'd give the mum a card and they'd say, oh, can I write your details on this card? That card would go to the hub.
Right.
And they'd ring that mum up and say, we've got a baby massage class this Thursday, do you want to come along? Again, that power of connection, that invite in, rather than, oh, it's on at 2 o'clock. No.
Sure.
So
that's massive. I mean, you go into GP surgeries as well, like I saw a thing like domestic violence the other day, you know, those little tabs, like loads of them are gone, and we don't always know what people are going through, and people, reaching out and accessing these services and that support, we all need it. I mean, my lad's 6 now and he can play a little bit more independently, but when he was really young, I remember thinking, this is very, very intense. Yeah. And we're going to talk about work-life balance and kids later.
Well, I was thinking, the only sort of experience you get is, well, you were a child once and you saw how your mum and dad or the people that you lived with, your grandparents or whatever, acted around you. And you kind of, there's no teaching path for this, is there? There's, you just kind of get handed. I know when my first my oldest was born, it was like, here we go. Congratulations, you're the proud owner of this son here. You know, see you later kind of thing. And it is a, you know, it's a real shock.
You buy, can you?
Yeah, that's
28 days.
Well, I remember the first night my lad come home, and people often talk about this, but I remember walking out the hospital with him, and obviously his mum had been in hospital. He was premature, so she'd been in hospital with him for a couple of weeks, loads of experience. And I just remember thinking, like, what do I do? And then that night when I got home, it's just the strangest night of your life, that first night.
Just watch them breathe all the time, just look at them for hours and hours.
And you're still breathing?
Yeah. But I certainly, you know, my eldest was born in 92. Yeah, 92. Gosh, that's such a long time ago. I can't ever even remember anything beyond that midwife home visit once or twice. And then that was kind of it, and you were left to your own. Obviously, things are much different now, and there's a lot more support. Yeah. So you know, what is that sort of those first sort of steps you take with these young families then?
So if once they're at the home, you know, women have got to get on their feet, haven't they, like health-wise and things. But then if they could reach out to if you just Google Sefton Family Hub, there's all kinds going on. Right. So there's like baby sensory, baby massage classes. So they could just come along. You know, the libraries, even like, we think, story time's not for toddlers. It's you can go with a baby, you know.
Oh yeah, reading. I was reading to mine, as you know, when they were tidgy tiny. You know, just to get into that routine. Because I think one of the things with me, I kind of learned quite quickly that Tom, my eldest, right, he would settle just listening to my voice sometimes, or the rhythm of my breathing. You learn these things quite quickly, don't you? And then you follow that on with the other two that came along, and it actually works. But yeah, a lot of it's trial and error. But that support, that early support, if you can connect people, is there any home support that you offer as well, or not?
Yeah, so the early help workers, they do go into
they'll do home visits,
Portage, and they do home visits as well.
Okay.
So you know, the parents can choose. They can either say we'll meet at the hubs, or we'll come out to the home.
Okay.
So,
and where are these hubs then you mentioned across Sefton?
They're all over Sefton.
Right.
So there's one not far in Mary Clark by Lineker Primary School there. Okay. There's one in Seaforth. There's one in Cambridge Road by Cambridge Road Nursery. There's one in Talbot Street in Southport. Lineker in Southport, right next to the primary school. Hudson, McGull. Right.
Got a good memory there. We'll share all this though. We'll share your details so people can access it. We'll say to people, do reach out and look at those services. Now, you've got a few upcoming events. Is the one in the Strand coming up soon?
When I first got the job, as I said, I went to this baby shower that was in Lineker in Southport. It was fantastic. One of the workers had put it on in the hubs, and it was like a market stall, if you like, and it was for expectant mums. So you had like maternity rights, breastfeeding support. You know, it was just loads of like different. They could walk around and talk to the health visitors, the nurses. Yeah,
like a marketplace.
Like a drop in, and you know, it was really nice. And as I was sat there like watching it all unfold, I thought, well, when you start school as a mum, you're still an expectant mum, aren't you? Like I found it hard because my eldest was quite shy. So when she started school, I felt a bit of a wrench really when she, you know, and people were saying to me, but aren't you like, didn't you work in early years, aren't you a teacher? But I was struggling with it, it was a big thing for me, you know. So I thought, do you know what, we could do something like this for expectant mums for reception. Imagine everything under the same roof. Sure. Because I've been in early years a long time as a teacher. You do these like meetings for new parents. And you know, you're talking about reading and you're talking about like, and then you say, any questions? And it's like, oh, what lunchbox are they at? Like, or what, and then it's that practicality, those little things that those parents are thinking about, not so much the spelling and the reading and the writing. You know. They want to know like what time are they having their dinner and like, do I come to this gate to pick them up?
I kind of think that brings in something that I'm very conscious of now. Do we overparent now? Is there a bit of that? You know, that I saw this brilliant clip the other day. Bit of an odd one, this, Tim, but a father with his young son, and they were walking along. It looked like a bridge, and across the bridge, and there was these safety barriers, and there was no danger as such. But somebody had put some string, and the dad stepped over the string, and the child just looked at his dad and was expecting to be lifted over, and he kind of stopped. The dad stopped, and said, no, come on, work it out for yourself.
Yeah,
And then what unfolded then over the next minute or so was the child trying to navigate these 3 bits of string, and in the end he did it, right?
Yeah.
He did it, and you think, oh, fantastic,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So yeah, the over-parented thing, what lunchbox and whatnot.
Yeah, helicopter.
You know,
Helicopter
come on.
parents,
Yeah,
24/7.
There's a big research about risky play as well. Risky play is so important
so
for
good.
development.
We climb trees. We're still look.
Yeah.
At 60, I'm still here. Just.
Yeah, that's it.
No, absolutely.
The brain development.
I was going to ask about, obviously, you know, under the Blair administration and the Brown administration, we saw a big proliferation in children's centres, didn't we?
Yeah.
As that's kind of like early intervention for children's centres, Sure Start and all that sort of stuff. Are you utilising those? I know that funding is long since gone, but the facilities, I'm assuming, are still there.
This is what this Start for Life is trying to bring all that
Bring
back.
those
so
back.
The government have put like a big load of money, and that's how like my role came about as well.
Right.
So they are trying to get like the hubs.
And what's it called again, sorry?
So it's Start for Life.
Start for Life.
Community coordinator. So it's like coordinating what goes on 0 to 5 in the communities.
Yeah, because there was a lot of money spent on those facilities, which quite often were attached to primary schools, weren't they?
Yeah,
you know, attached to those reception classes and early year 1 classes, and then you had this bespoke facility for parents and children from naught upwards.
Well, this is what this is trying to like get back on the map, really.
Yeah. And what about things for kids who've got additional challenges? I know, again, with Sure Start and with children's centres, there were a couple of pilots around, you know, early intervention for kids who've got additional needs and so on. Is that sort of service available with this?
So under the early years, there's also the SEND team early years and the portage, so they go from like 0 to 2.
Okay.
So you're talking before about home support, they're the ones that go into the houses and homes. And then there's an amazing like SEND team that come out and they visit children in the settings. So when I was a nursery teacher, the early years SEND team would come and visit me if I'd put a request in for a child I had a concern about, and then you're getting like really like top advice off them. And sometimes when you're in a situation you can't see what their needs are. Sometimes you're trying your best. Sometimes that outside pair of eyes coming in.
Sure.
You know,
you're talking, aren't you? You know, we were saying about getting handed the baby and everything being well, but again, some of those challenges that parents for the first time sometimes have got a child that's got some additional needs and needs additional support. That again, you know, you see so often, don't you, read in the press or on TV or on social media, some of those challenges where people just don't know where to turn.
It's so hard. I remember reading once that having a child with an extra need and bereavement model, it's the same model, you go through the same ones of like denial, anger, why me, and then towards acceptance. So when you're meeting a parent, that's quite interesting really, because you don't actually know what stage they're at yet. Are they in the denial bit? Are they in the anger bit?
Okay, that's really interesting.
That's tough.
Really interesting.
Very tough on people though, isn't it? Because it's hard anyway, it doesn't matter, you know, what the situation. But I think it's great what you do. So is there an event coming up at Bittle Strand?
Oh yeah, so on the so on the 10th of April, Friday, 10 till 2, we've got the Hive. And it's so it's again based on that model that I saw.
Okay.
So there's like a market stalls.
Okay.
So we've got the SEND team there.
Okay.
Kingsley's getting involved.
Good.
We've got Parenting 2000. We've got the library.
Are they still about as well?
Yeah,
Parenting 2000. Wow.
I remember them.
Yeah.
So it's, again, the details will be on the website and what we share. But is it round the corner? Is it?
Yeah,
or?
so just right by New Look.
By
I always
New
thought
Look,
the Hive was at
next
the
to
top.
New Look,
we know where it is.
But, it's just by New Look.
So when are you going to come and do one at Big Onion Southport?
Yeah, well, that's what I've had some inquiries, so it's going to pin you down.
Yeah,
to,
I know. Is it me? It's my fault, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's my fault.
This is the connection now we're talking about, isn't it? But also, it is difficult sometimes for people to find the time, but there's just so much good stuff going on. I think this is fantastic.
Well, yeah, I hope you can see, you know, this is what this is all about, right? This is about people and places, and it's about good news, good positive stuff. We don't dodge the issues, but you know, there's some fantastic things out there, but sometimes you open the newspapers or you read stuff online, you think it's just all doom and gloom, and we don't want to be like that.
No, there is so many positive things going on at the minute.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, that's brilliant anyway, and keep up the good work. Is there anything else you want to mention? Or have we covered all the bases?
Yeah, got all the bases, yeah. I'll just tell you a funny story. I went to a little place the other week in Southport, and I was like in the circle time and we were singing, you know, and this So I just get on the floor and I'm singing along with them, and this little one's going, giving me the eyes, you know. And in the end, he goes, you haven't got anyone with you. I just thought that was brilliant, like, because I could see he was trying to work it out.
He's worked out. Yeah, what's she doing here?
Do you know when my lad was 4, I took him to, we went to southern France to one of them Euro camps, and they have like kids clubs.
Oh yeah.
And well done to the people who work in those kids clubs. And he went in one morning, and there was a girl from the Netherlands who wasn't there, who could speak English. So it was only like people who could speak French and Spanish. So one of them said to me, oh, we'll be all right, we'll keep an eye on him. Anyway, for 2 hours, he was in there, and it was brilliant. It just took the pressure off me. But I kept like looking in, and all the others were over there. He was just playing with these blocks in the corner for 2 hours. And it was one of the like proudest little moments. But being a parent, it's what the hardest thing you'll do, but it's the most amazing thing you'll do as well.
Yeah.
And those little moments.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then when other people are helping you, it really does, you know, warm you up, doesn't it? And that feeling of togetherness.
I took my 2-year-old grandson, shout out to Rocky and Maggie, my grandson and granddaughter, 2-year-old to rugby tots the other week. He didn't have a clue what was going on, but to see them whirling around, and every now and then with a ball, brilliant. If we want to do funny stories though, one that always makes me howl, and you can cut this out, Carl, if you need to, but you know, the honesty of children, right? I remember taking my youngest Harry swimming, and we're in the changing room after. He's probably about 3 and a half, something like that, changing, and this guy came in, and he was a big guy, right? You could see Harry looking him up and down like that. He's right there. Woo, Dad, he said. Look at that big fat man. And I can remember going, hello mate, like this. I bet he eats a lot. I can remember the words vividly, but yeah, honestly, kids are brilliant, absolutely.
My lad had something like that about someone in a wheelchair, but the fellow was sound and went, oh yes, some people need a wheelchair, but he just said, why is he in that chair, you know, right in front of him? Like.
Well, we had guide dogs come in once in school, and any questions at the end. And this little girl said, do you like being blind? And I was like, you know, and it was great the way he answered. He said, it's not that I like it, it's not a choice I've got, you know. And it was really good, and I thought, you know, I was like filtering that, thinking, you can't ask that,
questions.
But actually like those kind of questions.
My mate's got spina bifida, wheelchair, obviously all his life, and when Harry met him for the first time, it was the exact same question. Why are you sat there? And Joe explained it to him. They've been best mates ever since, 20 years on, you know what I mean? So, absolutely.
Last weekend, my lad's got a little gaming console, and he had me mum and me dad playing Mario Kart. And I was in the other room, and I took a few pictures of them. They didn't notice, but I was quite emotional, saying, my mum and dad are playing Mario Kart with me lad, and he was saying, don't worry, I'll show you what to do.
What to do. Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Right, anyway, I think we could reminisce and talk about children.
Do a lot of that.
It's also okay, some people don't have children, that's okay too, but we're just here to show that we're all about connection here at Big Onion Radio, and it's about helping each other in any way that we can, and this is a big part of it, isn't it? So, Liz, hopefully you'll stick around for the quiz.
Thanks for coming on.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for asking me.
We'll do a short break, and then we'll be back with you in a second.
Don't go changing.
Big Onion Radio. Email address radio@thebigonion.co.uk.
Okay, everyone, welcome back to part 2. Liz is still with us. She tried to get away, but we reeled her back in.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about something linked to the idea of having kids, but it's about work-life balance. And we all know that I was reading this morning about people in the bank industry. I don't know if you've seen that series Industry on BBC One, where people are working like 24/7. But they were saying that there's a lot of people who are working 16, 17 hours a day in the banking sector, and they're getting 6-figure salaries. But we know there'll be a lot of people putting those kinds of hours in who aren't getting six-figure salaries. And I know as a teacher, you'll know this, Chris, you know from your early days in business, how hard it is to manage your hours and to get that work-life balance. So we just want to touch on that very briefly. Just wondered if you had anything that you wanted to say about that particular issue, because you said that you started to change early on when you had children, didn't you?
Yeah, I think it's difficult, isn't it? You know, nobody said life's simple, okay? I know some people lead very simple lives, and also I think it's fair to say people have a habit of making their lives more complicated sometimes unnecessarily so. I think, the time you have children, I look now, I'm a grandfather, and I look at my eldest, and they work really hard to keep it all together, to keep it all going, and there's lots of external pressures which impact on them as a family, and I'm amazed sometimes how well him and his partner do it, keeping all the balls in the air, which is fantastic, right? And look, we're all different. For me personally, I've always had a busy life, and I kind of think I balanced things out as best I could. Yes, in those very early days of starting the business, and having 2 children, young children, who were going into school and so on, it is tough. But you make time, you make allowances, and sometimes you're lucky you've got some family to support you as well. I think as I got older, certainly with my youngest, I took some decisions that meant I had more of a work-life balance. In those early years when he was in primary school, when he went to secondary school, I kind of, again, flipped again and went back to being the hamster in the wheel, But yeah, look, who said life is easy? Back to my opening, it's not. But if we want these things, we have a responsibility, to make sure we try and keep all the balls in the air. And in having, somebody like Liz here today, we know there's an awful lot more support around to help people who might be finding it, a bit of a struggle, or if they're getting frayed at the edges.
Absolutely. I mean, early on as a teacher, I put a lot into that job. I don't think it did myself any good, and I started to set quite strict limits. I think probably in my first, after about 6-7 years of teaching, I realised I need to, have these quite strict limits. And then obviously becoming a parent after COVID, which again a lot of people had a real think during COVID, reconfigurations, some of it positive, some of it negative, or whatever long-term things. But I remember just thinking, I don't want to go back to that after COVID. I had a moment of clarity, and I went back and did supply teaching for a bit before I left, and pursued this just because I met this gentleman here about
Up and downhill since you met me, Tim.
That's it, but it is tough with the cost of living as well, when you're thinking, I need to work, I need to earn extra to do this and to pay for this. And, if you're going to the supermarket, and I've seen people in the supermarket looking at things and thinking, can I buy that? Literally saying it out loud and stuff. And they always say, when people are putting petrol in cars, going to supermarkets, people are starting to really notice things. This cost of living crisis as it goes on, there is pressures, but finding those time disciplines where you can say, right, this is family time or whatever, I think that is really important. And again, there are no easy solutions. I find journaling where I think, right, how did I go today? What could I do differently? I find that really helpful. But some people can do it in the head.
I think self-discovery, you've got to learn, right? Every day is a school day, right? And I think also as well, for me, it's very hard, you can't second guess other people, but for me, the person I was in my 20s wasn't the person I was in my 30s, nor 40s or 50s, and now into my 60s. You evolve, you change, right? Priorities change. There isn't a perfect solution. I think it is good to know, though, that there is support out there, and I think that's the critical thing. You don't need to feel alone. There are people out there, like Liz's services, like lots and lots of other community services that we've mentioned. And you've got to know who you are as well, I think. I talk to people all the time about this when they, want to start a business, say, for example, right? And I say about the characteristics that you have are the characteristics, or will be the characteristics of your business as well. It's the same for life, I think, right? It's the same for life. You find out who you are, a bit of self-discovery, and find out what you want from life. And if children are a part of that, so in some cases they're not, right? Some people, quite a lot of people, don't have children. We see now also as well, don't we, that some people are having children a lot older than they were years ago, right? Because of careers or, other things. I think it's that for me, is working out who you are and what you want, and including in that obviously massive part is the children.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's a small window as well, isn't it? I think as you get to this age now, like you realise like it's over so fast, isn't it, when you have children? But like at the time you can't see that. I try and like drip that into people, saying like, you know, it won't always be like this, things will change.
I've got a great line, and you know, I'm so glad you just said what you said, because today would have been my mother's 93rd birthday today, right? Wendy, my mother, she was awesome, okay? But one of her lines to me was, enjoy it, because you only get a lend.
Yeah,
right?
No, it's true, isn't
and
it?
it was it's so true, you know, they grow up and they've got their own life and whatnot. I think the great thing is they do come back. I've noticed, you know, that connection with me now and mum is strong, right? Because, you know, they have a few years where they're individuals and they can go and do everything. They don't. All they need is for is a lift and to be an ATM for them. But I think, massively they do come back and realise, understand the importance of family.
Yeah.
Any advice on work-life balance from your own experience?
Yeah, so when mine were little, so I was like, Moya was 16 months and then I was like pregnant again, so mine were quite close together. So I stayed at home with them. I went part-time, and at the time I had a really good head that was like into job shares, but as you know, that's sometimes quite hard. You know,
work can be very helpful or very unhelpful.
Yeah. So like I did 2 days when they were little, because I wanted to be at home with them doing all that early years stuff rather than, you know, being in school. And 2 days, that was quite a nice balance. And then I took the long maternity as well. But I do feel at the minute for people, like I look at like young teachers I was working with, and you know, yourself, schools just change gears now.
I have a thing where you can, you know, when you're breathing, you know, when you go like on a run and you get a stitch, your body's basically saying, listen, I'm struggling here, I'm borrowing extra energy, but it's going to hurt, you know, and all that. That's what your body's doing. I mean, I would say to people, if you're having day after day after day after day where you're thinking, I can't keep going on like this, something needs to change. I'm not saying it's easy, but something needs to change. It might be just the way you perceive things, but I'm not going to be arrogant enough to say that you can just click your fingers and all of a sudden all your bills are paid.
It's consumerism.
It is hard
as well, isn't it?
It is, It's very, very difficult. And keeping up with the Joneses, feeling that you're being judged.
Child's parties.
It can be very, very difficult. And I think also when I was young, I mean, we were talking before, I don't think I'd like me 20 years ago. If I met me, I'd say, no, you need to relax, mate. You need to just take more time. And by the way, you know, that and that thing that you're doing now, you need to cut it out. But that's life, isn't it? That's wisdom.
But that's you've evolved to you need to be like that to be this.
That word, you know, regrets. Right? You can sort of, you know, overthink things sometimes far too and worry about what's going on. You can't do anything that's gone on back there. But you can about stuff that's in front of you. And I think the person that you are through the decades of your life, you know, it changes. As long as people are aware of that, I think, and can see, you know, the type of person that you know, because we all look in maybe sometimes at 20-year-olds, right? And we have an opinion. We're great at having opinions, aren't we? Right? And look, you've got to let them get on with it and let them discover, climb that tree, fall off it, and see, oh, it does actually, that does hurt. I'm not saying climbing trees at 20, but...
I love that confidence though that they have, you know, because you just know you're going to come unstuck.
You're going to come unstuck at some point.
But you know, it's that...
There's cultural things as well. When my mate went to Spain, he said that they let kids fall off things in Spain. And he said when he first went, he was like going... trying to like say that kid's about to fall.
Or Germany.
And also, they allow other parents to tell the kid off. That's part of it's like a bit of a unwritten law. That's good for people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but look, we've just got to, you know, be there to, I think, to pick them up when they need picking up, right? But until coming back to that work-life balance, I think, you know, you've just got to try in this mad world that we live to make sure you have time, right? And time that those children will remember as well.
Absolutely.
Do it, and it doesn't have to be the most expensive thing. You know, again, talking about walking in the woods or playing in a stream or stuff like that. You know, kicking a ball in the park. Those kinds of things. I've got so many memories.
Absolutely.
You know, of those things which don't cost anything at all.
Yeah. Have you seen Man on the Run yet? Paul McCartney.
No.
No.
You've not seen it?
No.
So we watched it.
Is that where he spends more time with his kids? He
it's
goes
just
out of his way?
Yeah, so it's just like a documentary film, but it shows them in, like, is it Mull?
Yeah.
And like the farmhouse, and there's like family video footage, you know, but they're just basically hippies there. But I was thinking, like, how fab's that they've got those memories, you know?
No, absolutely.
With the sheep and like the running around with hens, and there's like Stella and Mary. Like Mary features a lot on the film.
But again, this is a guy who was so successful, and then he went, no, I need family time. Because George Harrison said the same thing. He said, money doesn't buy you happiness, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's easy for some, though, to say when they have just like to say that. They're not looking at how much the beans are in Aldi.
Oh,
anyway,
that's a good point. But just two things, that from the 5 ways to well-being, which is a theme we'll keep coming back, just two big ones today is, one, taking notice of these amazing times you're in while you're there, whether that's with kids or not, and also about connection, but also connecting with each other and using what's out there to help you, because it does take a village to raise a child, you know.
Just going back to that connection as well, I was thinking before, it's that thing, isn't it, where anything you're in, like teaching or, you know, whatever, when you meet someone and they say, oh yeah, I feel like that too. It's so powerful, isn't it? Or if you're sharing an experience and then you think, so these mums and or parents, dads as well, grandparents, when they're coming together and they're like, you know, talking about not feeding or not sleeping and just having that joint. It's so powerful, I think, isn't it?
Peer to peer, absolutely.
Shared stories. Right, just a bit of fun now to finish with. We're going to talk about good places in Sefton. And I just want to say, big up to independent coffee shops out there. You know, people aren't going to the pub as much. You know, probably a good thing in many ways, but, you know, I like going to the pub.
Not perhaps for the pub owner.
Yeah, well, my mates own a pub and we're going to be doing one from there in a few weeks' time. But I think it's important to have these spaces where people can go to, and I think independent coffee shops, any public spaces, you know, do support them, do go to them. When I go to my mate's pub, I see my mates, and I have such a laugh when I go to my mate's pub, which we'll be filming in shortly. And you go there as well, don't you? You're always sometimes just on Liverpool Road, just off South Road. That a couple of friends of ours run, and it's such a nice place to go to. But go and support these independent places in the community where people come together, develop relationships. And also, if you are in an independent coffee shop or whatever, like, talk to the staff and ask how they're doing. And
Big Onion next door, our coffee shop. But, you know, again, on that, and I do want to stress this, you know, spend your money locally, it stays local.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's not to, you know, to say avoid any of the bigger boys and girls businesses, but you spend your money locally, it stays local, and that's how you build a local economy that thrives.
And do you know what, Terry, in the coffee shop, whenever I pop in there next door at the Big One, she always says to me, "You're all right, Tim, how's it going?" She knows my name.
She knows,
I think that's a nice touch as well, isn't it?
Absolutely.
But when I know, like, the Cheers song where everybody knows your name, but when I was growing up, my mate's dad owned a pub, and we'd go in there, we knew everyone in there, and they had a quiz night on a Thursday. We'd go there and then go to the football match. Like, the coffee shops I go to, there's one we're hoping to film in Formby, which we'll be talking about in a few weeks' time. Like, I go in and go, "Oh, hello, how are you?" And they remembered me from when I first went in there. And I think it is nice to spend time in places like that.
Personal, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Right, are you ready for famous Seftonians?
Oh, yes.
Okay, now we're going to go down to 2 an episode, because eventually we'll end up just doing, like, people like myself, and, well, Chris is a famous adopted Seftonian. But we're going to go down to 2. So here's 2 for you. J. Bruce Ismay, who was the chairman of the White Star Line and survivor of the Titanic, was born at Beach Lodge in Crosby. Now, I didn't know that, because I know that...
by the way. I'm going to correct you there.
Go on. It's where?
It's Waterloo.
It's Waterloo.
Oh, Waterloo.
All right.
It's like Beach Lawn.
There you go. I know people in Waterloo
Crosby
don't
try
like
and take good things, you see.
Oh, right.
They piggyback on each other, don't they? It's like the old Sefton Liverpool thing from back in the day. So J. Bruce Ismay, chairman of the White Star Line, the big company based in Liverpool. You also had Cunard. But I think the captain of the Titanic lived in Waterloo,
Mr.
Smith.
He was further on.
Yeah.
So Ismay's at the bottom of the really big houses, and Smith's is like in the middle.
Got an Irish
Okay.
Yeah.
But the historian.
He was from Stoke-on-Trent originally, Mr. Smith, but he went down with the ship
Yeah.
when a lot of people were bailing out.
Yeah. Fantastic.
So yeah, bit of local history. And also Dr. Mary Park from Bootle was a world-leading marine botanist and the pioneer of the study of algae, which is called phycology. And she was a fellow of the Royal Society and born in Bootle in 1908. So for women at the time as well, I think that was quite a big thing.
Where's her statue? We should campaign for one.
When you're thinking of like history in primary schools, that's somebody
Absolutely,
we should be
that's
studying,
amazing.
isn't it?
Yeah. But again, I've never heard of her. I'm a historian, and you know, through research, you find out who these people are. Right, you ready for the fun quiz?
Yeah, let's give it a go.
Ready,
What's the score, Tim?
It's 14-11 to you lot.
Yes.
So
now we've got to keep it going here, Liz, right?
Okay.
We've got to be. We've
Might
got to
stop
win
serving
this.
this.
okay, you ready? So on Formby Beach, I'm going to tell you a fact first. It's home to one of the most incredible prehistoric sites in the UK. When the tide goes out and the mud layers are exposed, you can see footprints of ancient humans, red deer, wild boar, and even wolves and lynx. And it's been nicknamed the Serengeti of Europe because of the sheer density of animal tracks preserved from that era. So true or false, are these footprints, etc., 12,000 years old?
Can I answer or did you answer him?
Oh no,
You can do it together.
answer.
Yeah.
More the merrier.
Is that true?
Yeah, true.
It's
No, what I
It's
said
only
was true, but it's
12,000
whether
years.
it's 12,000 years old or not.
12,000.
12,000.
12,000 is not long ago, is it, in the
Yeah.
history of time?
I'd say longer than that then, yeah.
So do you think that could be false then, Liz?
Yeah.
Yeah.
12,000.
Okay, we'll go false then.
Yeah,
Also.
you're right. It's 8,000 years. I feel cheated there though because
Oh,
you
so
actually
we
thought it was
We
lower.
went the wrong way, but we get the point.
Yeah.
We get the point.
I think the settlement at Ince is 8,000 years old as well. The ancient
Okay.
settlement down
Okay.
at Ince. Anyway, you get the points.
We'll have that.
Even though you went the other side. Also, in Formby again, a little bit of a Formby theme today. Formby, obviously a Viking name. But in Formby, they've got world famous asparagus that uses, this is true or false, that uses human poo as fertiliser. And the Titanic refused to serve this asparagus because it was made with human poo.
Manure.
Is that true or false? The
I
Titanic
think you've
refused.
given us a hint,
Yeah.
Tim. I'm going to say it's true.
I'm going to say true because it just sounds so
Yeah.
ridiculous. though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to go true. I think you gave us a hint when
Did I?
you were.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
It's actually false. The Titanic did serve it because of the quality of the human poo. At the time, led to this fantastic asparagus being grown. So there you go.
Wow.
so we were right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bit of a tricky one.
It's getting a bit random. This.
Yeah,
as
it is
well,
getting a
though.
bit random. And next one, over 600 ships have been wrecked on Formby Beach since the Middle Ages. Is that true or false? 600 ships wrecked on Formby Beach since the Middle Ages.
So Middle Ages, we're looking at what? 13th,
years ago.
14th century, something like that.
Yeah, up to that
Yeah,
point.
I'm going to say true for that. I think.
medieval. So are you happy with a
True.
true?
'Cause it could just be like
Or
a
is it
little,
more?
little.
Up to 600, so we need to go up. So it's true if it's up to 600, it's false if it's 601. Yeah? Okay. He's a devil, you know. He's a devil, you know. He tries and tricks us.
Right, yeah.
So what do we think? What do we think? What are you saying, Liz?
I'm going to say true. Just a feeling.
Okay, I'm going to stick with you then. I'm going to stick with our guess. True.
It's false, it's only 300.
Oh,
I thought that 600, I doubled it thinking you'll probably smell a rat there. But apparently there are 300 wrecks on this stretch of water, and you can see many of them at low tide. The
Okay,
tide really
there you
does
go.
come out. And also Formby, if you go to Southport, it was a big thing in the lifeboats. Formby Beach in the past was a very, very dangerous place, and there were treacherous shifting sandbanks. So,
Okay.
but if you go up to the Atkinson, the museum up there, there's loads on
Yeah.
the lifeboats
There was
as
a
well.
woman on Friday, wasn't there, that she got stuck? There was a
Oh,
big,
right.
Yeah, there was a big amount. I think it was more towards Hightown, Formby.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
She got
and
stuck
then
out on the...
A dog went out, and I think she must have gone out to the
Oh.
dog. And then there was a big rescue
Wowee.
on
But
Friday
she's
morning.
okay?
Yeah, she's okay, yeah.
Fantastic.
Something not quite the same, but a few things happened to me on a beach in Australia and in Spain, where I'm actually glad that some locals knew what to do.
Got to be so careful on the tide, haven't you?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool, so that's
Absolutely.
15, 13.
15, 13.
Thing.
Yeah.
I might get a bit sneaky.
Could be a student's inquiry over one of them, I think. You know, feel a bit hard done, but there we go.
There you go.
You
There
know,
you
all's
go.
fair in love and
Sorry about the
competition.
wreckage, man.
Yeah. But anyway, 15, 13. It's just a bit of fun, you know.
Lizzie, we need you back. We need you back, Lizzie. Get well soon, Lizzie.
Yeah, get well soon. Lizzie and Dan as well.
Yeah. Oh, is Dan not well as well?
No. He was up very, very late last night, and
Is it a rugby thing?
well,
Is it a rugby thing?
yeah. He was up very, very late last night, and
Okay.
he told me that he was feeling a bit under the weather.
Feeling a bit under the weather.
There you go.
There we go.
You can read between the lines there if you want. Right, Liz, thank you very much.
Thank you for
coming
asking
on.
me. Thank
Liz,
you.
thanks so much
Making
for
it
taking the
painless.
time.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
do reach out, folks, and use these services. All the details
And all
will
the
be out in
information
notes.
we'll get on the, brilliant.
Yeah, I'll send you some links and things.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
Cool,
Thanks
good
very
stuff.
much.
Right, have a nice rest of week, everyone. Nice weekend whenever you're watching this. Please do like, share, support. We're on Spotify and YouTube. The more people who watch it and share this good information, the better. And let's make Sefton a better place. Let's increase our community and let's support each other. So thank you for watching.
Yes, thanks.
Liz, Chris.
Thank you.
See you later, folks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Brilliant. Well done. Liz.
Job done. Well done, Liz.
Cool.
Right, I've got to go and do a bit of
Brilliant.